Hey, Bart Herbison here, and the story behind the song this week. You are a story in and of yourself, my friend
Hey,
Jim
Bart.
Peterick.
Good to see you,
A
Bart.
genuine rock star, great songwriter, teacher, mentor, and friend. And up front, let me thank you for your advocacy work. You've traipsed the halls in D.C. with us all those years we were working on the Music Modernization Act. And finally, and I just want to thank you and everybody that was part of that long haul. But we got there.
It's a long journey, man. And it's great. And you were at the head.
Well, I think this is a great segue. The search is over is the story behind the song this week for the Tennessean and Tennessean.com. You are a great individual, solo artist. You fronted Ides of March, Survivor. This was a Survivor song. How did it happen?
Wow. I was riding in my car, and I always have the tape recorder on my passenger seat,
Right.
Of course. It's gotten me in a lot of trouble through the years.
It's made you a lot of money.
That too,
though.
that too. And I had the notebook there. And, you know, I transfer hooks from notebook to notebook. By the third notebook, if it's still in that book, that's a strong hook.
Yeah.
And I had written down this title, The Search is Over. And I didn't know what it meant. You never do. I just liked the way it sounded.
Where did it come from? Do you
Probably a
remember that?
news broadcast. The search is over for the missing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I laughed, the search is over. Like, I really didn't know what it meant. But I'm in the car, and I'm singing into my little Sony Walkman or whatever they call it. And I had the whole melody, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, everything right there. And I said, that's a weird modulation, but it's going to work. And I raced home, and I got on the piano, and I figured out the chords to that melody. And then I just plugged in The Search is Over. But it really wasn't until I got to rehearsal with Survivor. You know, Frankie was there, and I was on the piano. And I had, how can I convince you what you see is real, But I still didn't really know what The Search is Over was about. And then all of a sudden, like a bolt from the blue, The search is over. You were with me all the while.
Wow.
I looked into your eyes. I could hear you whisper, the search is over.
My skin, I get the goosebumps to this day when you say those words.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
And I wrote it, and every time it gets to that, I could hear you whisper, the search is over. When those words are coming from her,
Yeah.
holy moly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I still don't know how that modulation works. People come to me. Colin Ray, who cut a very nice version of it, said, how did you figure out that modulation? I said, I don't know.
We know people copied it, sort of. If you look at the template of power ballads that followed after that, it's like, where you would normally go here.
Right.
You went here and then there, and everybody else kind of started doing that, Jim.
Even my hero, Elton John.
I mean,
I heard it. I go, Elton, come on, man. That verse is almost identical. And it's flattery, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean.
Well, but I mean, another way of saying that is you sort of set a template for what was going to be on the radio for the next decade. And that's amazing. You changed not only what got performed, but the way it was written.
Well, thank you. There's a lot of power ballads from the 80s. Some of them are parody by this time because they were nothing against them, but they were really heavy-handed and they didn't have a lot to say. Search is Over is still on the radio, partly because it really has a message that sometimes you take for granted what's right in front of your eyes. And you have to go full circle around the world to come back to where you started.
Well, I can't imagine the stories of the people that have come up to you, because so many life applications from that song. They have to be just so emotionally powerful.
Oh,
now.
It's one of my favorite royalties, and
Yeah.
It's not money, it's the stories. Oh man, I got married to that song, and that's our song. I got, it's at my father's funeral. I mean,
Spirituality, yeah.
Even Alcoholics Anonymous meetings use that song.
Yeah.
The search is over. You've got it right here.
And, that's our humanness. It's our spirituality. It's our specialness. It's our connection to the universe. And you said it, Jim Peter.
Well, there's no better medium than a song.
What about the first time the band played it live?
Well, that was The Eye of the Tiger. No, excuse me. That was, by the time that hit, Dave Bickler resigned, our first singer, the guy that sang "Eye of the Tiger," and we went auditioning, and people were coming in from all over the country. Some really funny auditions. I felt like, when I saw American Idol, I go, I've been through that, And then a fella named Kevin Chalfant, a great singer, auditioned. We almost said yes. Next day, Jimmy Jamison came in and blew the doors off. I love Kevin, but Jimmy had a certain thing in his voice, made you believe every word he said.
Yeah, one of my favorite singers live ever.
Oh, yeah. And on record. I remember that final vocal on The Search Is Over. Ron Nevison's producing, Frankie's here, I'm there. We had tears in our eyes because he improves every song he sings, But we played it live every show. And, of course, Eye of the Tiger was a big moment in that set still. I Can't Hold Back was a big moment. Search Is Over stopped everybody in their tracks.
That was the days of cigarette lighters.
Exactly. That was before the cell phones.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I would like to promote your book.
Thank you.
Because this is included in the book, the history of the band, I think a snapshot of 2 or 3 generations of American popular music. But I got to tell you, if I didn't care anything about music, I love that book. And I've read a lot of books from songwriters and artists that, I love the story. I'm not sure I'd be a fan if it weren't for the music. This is so well written. And I just congratulate you on that book. So promote it. Where can we get it? Because I really do encourage everybody, get this book.
Wow.
I called you, I think, or texted you about 1 o'clock in the morning the night I finished. I'm like, Peter, oh my God,
Well, it was really a life mission, and it took a lot to really bring all that out, and I had to relive my whole life.
Yeah.
Most of it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Some of it was tough, I'm sure.
Some of the moments that I never want to relive again.
Yeah. But cathartic?
Very cathartic, and I got it all out. But you can find it at Barnes & Noble's. You can find it on Amazon. It's still a lot there. You can find it at any of my shows at the merchandise tables. I'd be happy to sign one for you. Doing quite well.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a life work.
Well, thank you for the book. Thank you for the song. We're going to hear a little bit. It's just one of my favorites, and I think you alluded to this earlier. The test of a great song is time.
Right.
And it's probably getting played as much now as when it was released. Jim Peterick, Frankie Sullivan, The Search Is Over, the story behind the song this week for the Tennessean and Tennessean.com.
How can I convince you what you see is real? Who am I to blame you for doubting what you feel? I was always reaching. You were just a girl I knew. I took for granted the friend I have in you. I was living for a dream, loving for a moment, taking on the world. That was just my style. Now I look into your eyes, I can see forever. The search is over. You were with me all